Hi, I'm Camila Ochoa, and I'll be doing my Socratic seminar on the theme of violence. So on page 18, the theme of violence can be seen through the death of Lupito. And my question is, how did Lupito's death, being so early in the novel, affect Antonio?
I think this was like the first time he actually witnessed murder in his own life, and it kind of like it affected him to a really great extent because like he's still a child and he's never witnessed things like this before, and so like it kind of like sets the tone for the rest of the novel. And yeah.
Going into a novel, you always have to assume that that your protagonist is innocent. That he or she has not yet lost their innocence. And so this happening, like she said, this is like the first time he lost his innocence. And this is something really extreme. It's not like he went to a party and tried alcohol for the first time or anything. This is the first time that this is the most extreme thing that he has ever witnessed is seeing somebody murdered. And so that sets the tone because it's not going to stop them. He's going to see other people die.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think, in my opinion, I believe it sets him up for later in the novel when he starts questioning religion because he asks, well, the simple fact that he believes good things happen to good people, stuff like that, which is he's taught. So I think this sets him up to question religion later in the novel after he speaks with Florence and after the incident that we had.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. So on page 168, Antonio witnesses Narciso and Tenero fighting under the juniper tree where Narciso later gets shot. And Antonio, how does Antonio being a witness to the violence change his view on the world or anything?
I think it changes his view because he always had the idea that good things happen to good people because his parents always raised him that way. And then when he sees all this stuff happen, especially with Narciso, who was a really good guy, he doesn't understand. He asks God, why is he doing this to me? Why him? He was such a good person, and he tried to help Ultima and everything, and he's the one who gets punished for being a good person.
So he's confused on why someone would get hurt like that.
Yeah.
Anybody else? No? Okay. So on page 213, all of Antonio's friends, this is when they're playing the priest game, all of Antonio's friends want him to give Florence a hard penance because he doesn't believe in God, and Antonio knows this is wrong. Why does Antonio feel that punishing Florence for his belief is bad?
Because it's been brought up that he's actually been able to see other views of religion, so I think he's more tolerant than all the other kids. And I think I brought it up in my Socratic seminar that he accepts him, he's talked to him, he's communicated with him, and he doesn't see him as a bad person. He doesn't want him to suffer bad things. So he does this because he knows his views, and he doesn't want to punish him for his own beliefs, even though he has a different belief.
I think that it's similar. He's good friends with Florence. He's probably Florence's best friend, and so Florence talked to him one-on-one and said that hey, this is what's going on with me. This is why I am the way I am. Also, Antonio doesn't seem like the type of person who likes to do more than is absolutely needed. Not that he's lazy, but he says he's cautious. So he doesn't want to do any more than is absolutely needed. As he seems to be the only one in that group that realizes that he's not an actual priest. Everybody else says that, hey, you need to do this because even though it's a game, we're taking this literally. They don't seem to realize that even if they do beat them up, it's not going to change anything. Really. He still needs to do it with an actual priest. So, and Antonio sees that. I imagine that if he thought that it would actually benefit Florence to have him repent in that game, he would, but he sees that it won't. So.
Okay.
I think that well, like Jose said, Jose said that his parents brought him up right, but I don't think that's true. I think because, I mean, it seems as if Antonio's mom's very intolerant to like other religions, and how she acts towards the husband kind of like shows that. And I think it's mainly Ultima. Like, she's the one that gets Antonio to like open his like mind like to different views. I think that's why he's able to like accept Florence as he is, like not believing in his God. And yeah, I think that's Ultima's like doing.
Okay, so I have another question. If Ultima didn't teach him that, do you think he would still like accept Florence the way he is and not judge him like his other friends?
No.
Why?
Because he would never see another factor. He would never see another side. He would have been like closed off as he usually was, with simple things that he saw at home. So.
Because Ultima kind of opened his eyes to like that you have to be tolerant to people, and there's other religions out there.
I think that he wouldn't have accepted Florence the way that he has, but he probably still would be friends with him still, more so than the other kids. So it wouldn't be the same degree of friendship, but it would still be more akin to what he has now than the other kids.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think he would still accept him because, like, it's more his personality than how he was raised. Like, he gets that there is, like, diversity in beliefs. Yeah.
Okay. So on page 243, Antonio has a dream of the 3 men he witnessed die. In this particular dream, he is asking why he is witnessing so much violence. Why do you feel Antonio dreams about so much violence?
I feel like he's dreamed about so much violence because he's seen so much violence in his life, and usually you dream about things like that have been bothering you, and your mind tries to like answer your questions while you sleep. And like his subconscious mind, he worries about like everyone who has died, and he wonders why like all these people are like dying and stuff like that, and why good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people.
Okay. Anybody else?
It's like setting him up to like question. It's just questioning, his subconscious questioning his real thoughts. So yeah, it's just leading on to what she said. It's just dreams that are trying to answer his questions that are brought up in his reality.
And needless to say, Antonio has some sort of a higher calling on this earth, and so the violence that he's seeing, he sees the violence and then he dreams about it. It's sort of refining him, making him ready to serve out his duty. It's a painful process for him, but it's something that needs to happen so he can do what he needs to do.
Anybody else? Okay, so on page 258 and 259, Antonio is there as Ultima's owl gets shot. How does watching Ultima's soul basically die set the tone for the end of the novel?
I think that's one of the things I brought up in my Socratic seminar is that it's possible that there are different aspects of innocence that one can lose. Like they could do something that would cause them to lose their innocence, but then still be innocent in a sense. I think that's sort of what is going on with Ultima's owl, because that's her soul, but it's separated from her. So the owl is her lifeline. And so Antonio is realizing that, and I think that's what he's realizing, is that it's possible for lack of a better term, you can die and not die. She did die, but he's saying that it's possible for you to like sort of separate yourself.
I think you mean like spiritually.
Yeah.
Spiritually?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because kind of lost it.
Yeah.
But other than that, spiritually.